Well, welcome back everybody to the Haas playthrough in Motorsport Manager then. And we're on to the final race of Season 2. And it's been quite the end of the season, hasn't it, to be fair? Somehow we are still in third place. We are still holding on to that third place that we've recovered over the last two races in Phoenix and last time out in Brazil. And it was quite the result really, wasn't it? 2nd and 9th last time out after our... Let's be honest, our strong track of Phoenix really produced the goods. Brazil was just a straight up shock. We managed to read the conditions perfectly, get strategy right, and Leclerc was on form all weekend, and he's just getting better and better. He really is. So here we are at the final race, and we have a 7-point advantage over Williams. We're pretty much, there's no way Force India and Red Bull are going to catch us. Pretty disappointing season for Red Bull, to be honest. Looks like they're going to finish 5th at best, probably 6th. But let's go into this final race and let's make sure we hold on to this third place, shall we? Now, we are doing interviews once again. No, I don't want Marcelo. Yeah, let's do him in. Good, I don't want him. We're just going to be either very positive or very negative with our interviews. That's the only way you can get a positive result out of it, I feel. Right, pit crew, I'm going to take a look at the end of the year because we've been doing also manage for a while now in our playthroughs. But I feel we should probably address that at the end of the year and at least make some changes to the base crew that the AI can then manage. Our scouting facility is still 2 weeks away. Hopefully that will finish before the end of the season because of course we're still undecided who we're going to replace Magnussen with next year. But it looks like either Verstappen or Ricciardo or Rosberg. Verstappen would be the best thing to do financially. It's going to cost us 3.2 million to break Ricciardo out of his contract as well. I do prefer Ricciardo as a driver, and in my heart that's the driver I would like. Actually, let's be honest, in my heart I would like Jenson Button in the car, but that's not going to happen. I mean, it could happen. No, let's not start entertaining that. Because I will just hire Jenson Button at whatever cost if I do that. Magnussen wants a new front wing. Look, K-Mag, you've been a fantastic ambassador for the team. You've done a great job this season. But I'm afraid you are on your way out next year. And I'm not building you a new front wing right at the end of the season. It's not going to happen. Right. As has been the case with the last few races, really nothing to do in the race build-up because the car is set. We're not developing the car now. And we're still somehow third in the championship. So let's do this. Final race of the season in, I think this is Bahrain. A lot of people called me out for that last season and said this is Abu Dhabi. That's the Bahrain flag, or the closest to. I'm pretty sure this is Bahrain, Doha. But the track does look like Abu Dhabi. I'm sure I did some kind of geographical thing last time and pointed out where Doha actually is, and it's close to Bahrain. But it's the... no, that is the Bahrain first corner. What am I on about? No, it's not Abu Dhabi. This is Bahrain. For some reason, the season ends in Bahrain. Okay, let's get underway. I shall get practice done and be back with you guys for qualifying. Okay, into qualifying we go then. And it was a pretty tricky practice session. We got plenty of track time and the setup was all good, but for some reason we just struggled to get the actual bonuses built up, and it meant that we only managed to do race trim. We didn't get to do any qualifying trim at all. Which obviously with Leclerc the last few seasons, or this season in particular, has been the case, but the fact that we couldn't even go out for a single qualifying run, I think we maxed out the race trim and the medium tyres with about 2 minutes of the session to go. Shows that whoever replaces Magnussen needs to be even better at feedback, because it's going to take Leclerc a long time to get to the point where he can make some decent progress in terms of what he gives us in practice with feedback. So as we go into the final qualifying session of the year then, Let's see what our opening laps will be. Again, we want to be on the tail of the top 10. As we know, this is going to be a pretty intense fight with Williams, I'm sure, and I'm sure it will be something that changes around during the race, and I will try and concentrate purely on how we're doing ourselves as to the competition. But we know that if we have to push a bit harder when Williams are around us, we're going to need to do that. It's all or nothing. I'm fairly confident we're clear of Force India and Red Bull. So we've really got to go for broke here if Williams seem to be having a better race than us. The opening laps, quite a difference between our two drivers. Magnussen on what is most likely, well it is, there's no chance that I'm keeping him now, I'm afraid, is actually putting in a really good performance in qualifying. You know, in his mind, he probably still has a chance of a drive next year. And I feel it's kind of harsh not to have Magnussen in the team next year, but I just feel we need that real quality driver to push forward alongside Leclerc, who is surely going to become a star within the next 2 to 3 seasons. So it's just his potential is the reason Magnussen will be out the door, really. In terms of where the team is at the moment and what he can offer them, I think he's doing a great job, but he just doesn't have enough for the future, and I feel we need to get this big name in as soon as we can, especially if it is someone... Oh my goodness, I didn't realise how long the lap was here, and we are not going to get a second run. We have done this far too many times this season. We'll send them out, but there is no chance they're going to get round. Well, that's disappointing. We have really fucked up the final qualifying session of the year. As you see that clock ticking down, it's going to run out. Oh, they both got in. They both somehow crossed the line. They're very close on the circuit. Sorry, I meant that was perfection. The last two to cross the line. They're really close on the circuit here, and I'm a little bit worried because Magnussen's got great pace. And I'm wondering if Leclerc is holding him up here. Leclerc trying to get past a Renault. Again, I don't know if this affects their lap time. But we're going to cross the line. Oh. Oh. So we did get them in time, but no improvement from either driver. And it means we start the final race of the season in 13th and 16th place. That's not where we want to be, considering Williams are 4th and 7th. Ocon's actually 2nd, which really worries me. I wish I could stop this. This scrolls really strangely sometimes. Anyway, Verstappen, Red Bull having a nightmare as well. Ricciardo only managing 9th, and Verstappen is 19th on the grid. Perez is 12th, but our main competitors, Williams, having a great qualifying, and we're going to need something special in the race here. Because let's not forget, sorry about the squeaky chair, but that's just something you have to put up with. Right, medium and race trim for the race. Don't need push the limit. I feel medium tyres are going to be the right thing for the race, and as we know, our reliability is pretty good at this point of the season. Now again, this is definitely a race we can one-stop, and I feel we need to do this with both cars to maximise our chances of scoring some points here. So we're going to put both our cars on the hard tyres. Temperatures, I don't know what they're like for the race. Yeah, pretty low. They've been pretty low all weekend, considering where we are in the world. Ocon, that's a pretty staggering lap, to be fair. And our is 4th for Williams, so we're going to need to do this on strategy. It's going to be a tough race, and if we finish where we're starting, Williams would clear us quite comfortably in the championship. We're still just ahead of Force India, but anything could happen, and our has actually jumped Vettel on the start then. Leclerc is up, has dropped a place. Magnussen has held station in 16th. We're just going to have to be patient in this one, Going on the hard tyres, we've got to hope that we do one less stop than the two Williams cars. Stroll is on the medium tyres, Auer on the soft tyres. So Auer especially, I would expect to stop. But Auer has the advantage of getting away at the front of the field here, and we need to get through some traffic fairly early. So we're going to go to neutral and high and just see what the tyre temperatures do. I've got a feeling they're going to drop pretty quickly. Now, in an ideal world, we go hard mediums, but I'm a bit worried about how hard we've got to push these tyres to keep them up to temperature. Because if we have to push on them, then that could take potentially 4 or 5 laps off the life of them. And then we're going to have to go hard, even if we can somehow scrape the one stop out of it. Already, yeah, 2 laps in and the tyre temperatures are dropping very quickly. So we are going to have to push it. This is, as I said, this is make or break. I feel no matter where Force India and Red Bull finish, we have 4th tied up. But we have to score points here if we're going to maintain that 3rd place. Leclerc has just made his way past Kielwitz then, up into 12th. Magnussen is 15th at the moment. And despite his much better qualifying, already Leclerc is a long way ahead of Magnussen. I say a long way, 4 seconds, but he's made the better start and is once again showing that he's just the better driver in race conditions. Magnussen's been pretty good over 1 lap this season, but he has really struggled in the race. And this is where Leclerc just, much like we've seen this season to be fair with him in the Sauber, he's just able to get into that groove and put the car where it really doesn't deserve to be. So we're keeping an eye on our competition. Auer is 3rd, Stroll is up to 5th now, and we're going to need Raikkonen and Bottas to do us a solid and try and get past Stroll at least. And we just need points. At the moment there is a 16-point difference, so we need some pretty serious points. And Auer isn't exactly being hustled by Ocon. Stroll is now being overtaken. He's been passed by Raikkonen, and Bottas will surely get past him shortly. Leclerc is up to 11th now, although he's still going wheel to wheel Daniel Ricciardo on those soft tyres. This race will come to us because the hard tyres are going to last a lot longer, and we need to make sure that we've got the fuel and the tyres to push late on. So we need to decide when we're going to turn the fuel down. I feel Magnussen is really struggling out there, so I'm going to turn his fuel down pretty early and then hope that he can really push in the middle of the race. Leclerc is trying to make up positions. If he can get past Ricciardo and Alonso by the end of this first stint, then he's going to be in a good position to attack late on in the race. So we're going to keep his fuel up for the moment. As I said, this was my worry. We're having to push the tyres really hard to keep them up to temperature. And I feel we should do a couple of laps in neutral now to try and conserve them. And everyone's looked after those hard tyres a bit better than us. And I'm always in 2 minds in this race, in this game, should I say, as to whether we should just let the tyres get very, very cold, or whether we should push and keep them up to temperature, and which of those 2 options is better for tyre life. Magnussen has now dropped back to 19th. I'm feeling that old analogy, all your chickens coming home to roost, is is coming into effect here, because we've been very lucky the last 2 races to get ourselves back up into 3rd in the championship, but I mean, Williams are absolutely bossing this at the moment, and we're not even getting close. We're still not in the points, and Force India are 4th and 9th, and they're only 10 points off us now. We need to get points out of this to guarantee 4th. Williams is scoring 25 points at the moment, so I'm going to need something late on here. Right, now we're looking after the tyres. They seem to be wearing better. But it's the pace that worries me when we're not pushing. I feel we can probably push again now and bring them back up to temperature, and that should hopefully help us out a bit. Right, we're max on the boost. We will take care of Leclerc first. Let's see if we can just use a little bit here to get onto the back of Alonso, and then we're going to need to use it down the long main straight. See if we can get past him and Perez here, because Perez is going to be a real bottleneck because he's on the same strategy as us. And look how well he's looking after those tyres. We're going to use Magnussen's out the final corner as well. Right, let's back off Leclerc. Let's back off Magnussen there. And Perez hasn't stopped, and he's got like 70% tyres left. That's what we should be on. What is he doing? He's on neutral. Maybe he's been neutral the whole race. And like I suspected, pushing on these tyres is not the best thing to do. Because although it brings them up to temperature, you're actually destroying them. Which shouldn't be the case. It's a little bit of a pet peeve with this game. Because that really shouldn't be the case. We can use Magnussen's boost out the final corner. Let's go see how the Dane is doing in his potential final. This could be his final race in Formula 1, you never know. We'll see if anybody picks him up. But he's got to show us what he can do here. These tyres are not working. These tyres are really not working. I'm going to make Magnussen the guinea pig. I'm going to bring him in and put him on medium tyres. I think we're going to have to switch to a two-stop here. Purely because of the cold conditions. And you look at someone like Perez and Kielwitz, they're all looking after those tyres very well. And we haven't. And once again, pushing to keep the tyre temperatures up, which you think would be the logical thing to do, has not played into our hands here. And we've been slow in this opening part of the race because we've been on the hard tyres. Oh, mistake on the pit stop from Magnussen, and that's dropped in behind Van Dorn and Verstappen, who have pitted on the same lap. That's no good. Right, I'm going to turn the fuel down for Leclerc. We're going to go longer with him and see if we can make the strategy work. Because these tyres should do 20 laps. So we may have destroyed them in this first stint, but if we can look after them properly in the second half of the race, we can still get away with this one stop, I feel, for Leclerc. He's up to 4th now. And he's only 4 seconds behind Hours pitted. How have Williams got so much pace all of a sudden? They're having the best race when they need it most. If Leclerc finished here, we'd be okay. Problem is, he's got potentially 2 more stops to do yet. Right, let's conserve and see if we can take these tyres another 3 or 4 laps. And then we're just going to have to look after. You know, some races you just know the writing is on the wall. And unless anything strange happens here, I feel we are in real trouble. Force India, Perez is 5th, Ocon 6th as well. I think we're in trouble here. I don't think Force India can catch us. But they're in danger of doing so. Right, let's keep going with Leclerc. Now he's conserving them. They are going the distance. If we can make this one stop work somehow, then we have a chance. Magnussen's just got no chance. I mean, look at him. We can probably go to high overtake mode now, but he's right down the back of the field. And his lap time's 1:53. He's slower than Leclerc, and Leclerc is on very worn hard tyres. There's something wrong with Magnussen in the races. That's where he's struggling. He doesn't have that racecraft that Leclerc has. And he's struggling to get past Verstappen, to be fair. It was that pit stop mistake that really hurt him in this race, because it put him behind Verstappen, and Verstappen's having a shocker as well, but he's on hard tyres, and without him being able to get past. To be fair, he's not climbing over the back of him, is he? Right, Leclerc has done a great job here. He's held on with these tyres. He's really held on. Can we do one more lap? One more lap would really bring us back into this race and make the second half of the race that little bit easier. We're going to go one more. I'm going to bring him in this time around for another set of hard tyres. We could do the old cheatsy doodle again, but I don't want to. We haven't done it since it appeared. For any of you that don't know, there is a bug, and there has been for a long time as far as I know, where you can recharge the battery fully without ever having the risk of it failing. And to be honest, it really shows me how much PlaySport have given up on this game, or not, hopefully started working on the next one, but maybe not, maybe focusing on the mobile version. But it shows me how much they've just got disconnected with this game. In fact, they haven't fixed that yet and brought out a patch for many months. Right, we're in. We need a good pit stop this time around. We've got it. It was a slow pit stop, but we've just managed to get back out ahead of Perez, and that is crucial. We're going to go to neutral. We don't need to look after the tyres all that much. We're going to continue saving fuel for the beginning part of this stint, to hopefully have some to attack late on. Now, Magnussen. What do you do with a problem like Kevin Magnussen? He's last and still got another stop to make. And I don't know that anybody ahead of him is going to stop. This is really disappointing from K-Mag. In a race that we really needed some big points. Right, Raikkonen is in. Current point standings, we are quite a way behind Williams. We need to make up another couple of positions. I think Stroll is still in range. If we demote him from points and gain some more ourselves, we need a 12-point swing. Right, we've actually maxed out on the boost here. 13 laps to go. I kind of want to go on the soft tyres for the end, but we're... Right, let's just push. No, let's attack. Come to think of it. Magnussen needs to make some progress quickly. We need to use a boost down the main straight. We need to use a bit of boost for Leclerc. We need to get him past Perez, who's actually just repassed us. Let's use some boost to get close. Again, down that little straight. Now we're going to use the rest down the back straight. Same with Magnussen. We're just not doing enough. We've been really flattered by these last two races. And to be fair, Leclerc just in the top 10 with a chance to go forward a little bit isn't too bad, considering the pace of the car, but considering we want to finish third in this championship, it's very disappointing. Right, I'm going to push and go to high fuel mode now. We need to bring the tyre temperatures up. We've got a bit of fuel, and we need Leclerc to really start making some progress now, or we're in trouble. Magnussen, we're going to bring in for his final stop. We're going to have to go mediums again because they're just not lasting. So he can come in this time around. He's up 17th, but the Gasly and Markello are behind. He's finally got past Verstappen. I don't know what's happened to Red Bull this year. They've really fallen. Oh, safety car. We're going to go for it. We're going to go soft tyres. Let's make sure we look after that fuel and get some in the bank, and then we can really attack the end of this race. Because at the moment we're behind Williams. We're only 4 points behind. Because Stroll has... Oh, it's Stroll that's crashed out. All of a sudden, this race has come to us. This is a risk from Leclerc. This is a real big risk. I'm actually going to go onto the medium tyres instead. Let's go for this. Let's look after those tyres. Christ, Magnussen. This brings K-Mag back into this race as well, to be fair, because it all closes up. He's on fresh tyres. Quite a few cars pitting, so Leclerc, as suspected, loses just 2 places, and he's on fresh tyres. So this is good for us. Oh, we've been thrown a lifeline by the safety cars. And we haven't had many safety cars this year. This is right when we need it. So our is up to third. But if we look at it, we just need to score 7 more points. So we need... quick math. We do need that. 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8. We need 6th place. If we can get 6th place with Leclerc, we will finish 3rd in the Constructors' Championship. Can you imagine such a thing happening at the beginning of the year? I definitely could not. Right, safety car is heading to the garage at the end of this lap. We can attack the beginning of this stint because we have plenty of tyre life now. In the case of Magnussen, we got plenty of boost as well. And we got plenty of fuel. We're going to go ham. Come on, boys. We can do this. Whew. We could do a few more safety cars to spice up real Formula 1. Right. We're getting ready to go again. We're going to go overtake. We are going to try and make up as many places as we can in the restart of this race. Get ready. Here we go. Boost. Boost, boys. Let's do it. The field has bunched up again. And this is make or break in terms of being best of the rest in this 2018 season. I think it's 2017 actually. Who cares? Let's concentrate on the action. Leclerc has Magnussen made a mistake. He's back down to 19th. Right, now we can probably go back to neutral and high. We don't want to go crazy. We were just trying to make up some places in the opening race, opening lap. And it's not really happened. By the way, it has been a sunny Sunday. Of watching the Formula 1 and the England match, so I may have had a few beers, just to let you know if there is a bit of slurriness. I'm trying to hold it together for this, for you guys. I'm trying to get back on track with this YouTube channel. I'm feeling reinvigorated, to be fair. It's been a couple of weeks of very, very slow upload rates, but I've got a lot of ideas, a lot of stuff I want to do. I'm hoping the next couple of weeks we can start to get this channel back up and running. It's amazing that you guys are still supporting it and still watching. Leclerc, come on, mate. What's happening? He's falling back through the field. And our shot at 3rd place in the Constructors' Championship is starting to fall away. Right, come on, boys. Give it everything. We're just going to attack this. And if we come up with nothing, then at least we know we would have tried. That 6th and 7th place are too far away. We need to get through this traffic. Right, Leclerc out of the final corner. Magnussen is actually in range now of getting some points. That's one factor we didn't consider. If Magnussen can get into the points as well, then we don't need 6. We need a combination that gives us 7 points. It's not out of the question that he might be caught by Bottas and Raikkonen, but considering he's got the tyre life on his side, it is quite unlikely. Leclerc cannot get past this traffic. We're really struggling here. Everyone else is being super aggressive as well. I think that's hurting us. But can we be aggressive for longer? That is the question I'm asking. Because we got the fuel, we got the tyres, we got 3 laps to go. We just need to save up a bit of boost as well. Magnussen trying to make his way past Van Dorn, and does, up into 13th. I wonder if Magnussen might be our secret weapon here. Leclerc, let's use that boost. Come on, just get past Alonso. He's done it. We know how tricky he is, and he's going to get past Gasly as well. Up into 8th. Right, fuel is running a bit low, so we're going to have to go high now. Oh, Leclerc coming back under pressure from Gasly. That's a terrible time to use Magnussen's boost. Not going to lie, I was panicking a little bit here. Right, we're going to go back to push because the tyres are not looking good. I said this was make or break. We're 4 points off Williams now. We need Magnussen to get into the points. We can see 7th place, Perez. Magnussen up to 12th now. We're completely out of tyres. And out of time. I think Leclerc's got the tyres to attack, you know. Magnussen might struggle. Leclerc is free. I think he was being held up by Gasly, Verstappen and Alonso. Oh, this could not... This season has been a nerve jangler. You've never quite known what's going to happen in this one. Magnussen running out of tyres on the final couple of laps here. It's not going to matter if he doesn't get into the points. Leclerc on the other hand. Final lap. Let's switch up into overtake. I was hoping maybe Bottas or Raikkonen would get past Auer. They haven't done. Oh, we can see 3rd place in the Constructors. It's within touching distance. But I don't think we're going to get there. We're going to have to turn this down. Magnussen's run out of fuel. Run out of tyres. I'm just going to back up to make sure he actually gets over the line in 13th and doesn't embarrass us on the final lap. Oh, we're so close. We are so close, but we're not going to get it, I don't think. Leclerc on the back of Ricciardo. We have nothing left to offer. And he's going to cross the line in 8th place. Kevin Magnussen, a great recovery. Really helped by the safety car, comes home in 13th. But it is not enough for 3rd place in the Constructors' Championship. We tried. It's been an incredible season, and one that's completely turned around in the last couple of races. And if we develop our car for the whole of next year, God knows what we could do, and what we could have done this year if we continued developing it. Lucas Auer continues his rise to fame. As someone has pointed out in the comments before, yes, I do read each and every one of them. Lucas Auer, the nephew of Gerhard Berger, the F1 great, is really maturing, and it's another podium for him. And he's dragged Williams into this 3rd place. Williams really on the up as well. And it's Red Bull and Force India who are the real casualties this season. And it's 4th place, 8th place for Leclerc, 4 points. And that's, to be fair, another great drive from him. Magnussen, 13th, gave it everything, but really struggled in that first stint, which hurt him. It means that the final standings in the World Championship, Lewis Hamilton absolutely waltzes away with, I presume, his 4th World Championship. I don't know if he won it last year. It's either 3rd or 4th. But another championship, actually no, because he already had 3 because 16 was Rosberg. So that might be his 4th or 5th. I'm not quite sure who won it last year. Anyway, Sebastian Vettel clambers his way above Bottas in the final race to finish second, but it's a disappointing season for Ferrari. Raikkonen finishes 4th. Lucas Auer for Williams finishes 5th. Perez 6th. Charles Leclerc 7th place. That's a great performance, and it's been a great season. Both of our drivers in the top 10. Daniel Ricciardo is the best of a very disappointing Red Bull duo. And say, I might get my words mixed up this afternoon, but there you go. On 82, Kevin Magnussen holds off. Kevin Magnussen's finish. Christ, I should just give up now. Daniel Ricciardo holds off Kevin Magnussen, who finishes in 9th. Verstappen is 10th. Lance Stroll down in 11th, being vastly overshadowed by his teammate. Force India, pretty disappointing from Ocon. 22 points compared to Sergio Perez's 122. 100 points between the teammates. That's staggering. And then Renault, McLaren, Toro Rosso, Russian time, really struggling. Alonso 13 points to Stoffel Van Dorn 0. Shows that he's giving it his all once again, but that McLaren car is not giving him what he needs to deliver. Nico Hülkenberg comfortably beats Kielwitz. What's happened to Carlos Sainz? We need to see where he's gone. He might be a consideration for next year. I don't think so, because I really want one of those Red Bull drivers, or potentially Rosberg. But we could keep an eye on where Sainz has gone. 2 Toro Rosso drivers, Kvyat being heavily outscored by Gasly. It's a disappointing season for them all round. Luca Ghiotto, the Italian, promoted with Russian time from Formula 2, gets their only point of the year, and that means he outscores Van Dorn and Markelo, who scores 0. In the end, it's a lot closer than it looked like it was going to be, with 4 or 5 races to go, and especially with about half that race to go. But we are 4 points behind Williams. Mercedes absolutely trounced Ferrari by 194 points. And then 406 behind are Williams in 3rd. 4 points ahead of us, who finished 4th in just our 2nd season. And it's a massive improvement on last year. And I think we can be that best of the rest and maybe, just maybe, challenge Mercedes or Ferrari next year. But if we can start closing that gap to the front 2 teams and put some distance between us and the midfield, then I think we can have a great year next season. Force India are 5th, Red Bull 6th. It was quite the fight between the 4 of us all through the season in a very competitive midfield. But in the end, Red Bull finished 6th, which must be their worst finish since, I'm going to say 2008, but maybe even further back than that. Renault are best of the lower midfield, as it has become now, in 7th, but again, a very disappointing season for them. McLaren in 8th, 1 point ahead of Toro Rosso in 9th, and Russian time may well get demoted to Formula 2 as we see another team pushed up after their failure to make any real dent on Formula 1 in their first season. Right, that is going to be it then for season number 2. Leave your final comments on who you think should be in that car for next year. There were 3 options, and I'm going to add in a 4th as a wild card. Now I'm going to add in a 5th because I'm feeling like it. Options for next year: Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, Nico Rosberg, Jenson Button, Carlos Sainz. One of them is just purely for my own means. I'll let you decide which one that is. But there are 5 options to replace Kevin Magnussen next year. Let me know who you think should. And also let me know whether you think Ferrucci should be replaced as the reserve driver, whether we should let him go out and get a bit of experience. Of course, we scouted the that other young American driver that was auto-generated by the game, so he's a potential as a reserve as well. Lewis Hamilton takes the title then, 348 points. Mercedes win the Constructors. Hopefully we will get our hands on that trophy one day. But it was an utterly dominant performance from Mercedes. And what a season it's been. It's been a lot slower than the first one. Hopefully we can pick up the pace again and start making these a bit more regular. As always, I am blown away by your support. The fact that we're 2 seasons in and the upload rate has been abysmal. The fact that 100 plus of you still watch every episode means the world. 72 scouting. I think we've just finished the scouting facility. We have. So there's a bunch of new drivers on offer for next year. Let's just finish off the episode by seeing if Nico Rosberg is now available. He is. So I shall start scouting Nico Rosberg as a potential for next year. Jenson Button is the reserve for McLaren. Look how much he's dropped off actually. He was almost 4 stars when you start off this career. He's really struggled as that reserve driver. In most of my other playthroughs in this mod, he normally moves to LMP1 with Porsche or someone like that. And it enables him to keep up his skill level. But he's really dropped off in this, so I'm going to probably strike him off as an option. So where is Carlos Sainz? So he's at Valenti Rebellion in WEC in LMP2 then. Actually, I think LMP1 or Rebellion. But he's another potential driver. He's not quite as highly rated as Ricciardo and Verstappen. And he's almost as expensive as Ricciardo. But we will scout him nevertheless. So let me know what you guys think about the drivers for next year. I hope you guys have enjoyed this season too, and are looking forward to season 3. And as always, thank you very much for watching everybody. And I'll see you again next time.